Hello viewers, in this video I will discuss about the structure of metamorphic rocks. First I will talk about the outline. In this video lecture I will introduce you the terms texture and structure, factors affecting metamorphic structures, formation of metamorphic structures, different types of structures found in metamorphic rocks, and finally I will summarize my lecture. Let us discuss about the introduction. You know that texture is used to describe the size, shape and arrangement of grains within a rock. Mostly igneous and many sedimentary rocks consist of mineral grains that have a random orientation. However, metamorphic rocks contain platy minerals and or elongated minerals such as micas and amphiboles, which display some kind of preferred orientation in which the mineral grains exhibit a parallel to subparallel alignment. What is structure? Structure is metamorphic rocks are a product of unbalanced directive forces and various interrelated textures are present in the rock unit. The term texture denotes the basic fabric of the rock made by the constituting minerals, whereas structures are geometric elements made over these textures. Thus, the term structure includes features on a large scale, or on outcrop scale, or on the hand specimen scale, or even at a regional scale. On the contrary, the term texture is used for the features at a small scale, which is from microscopic to hand specimen scale. The texture is basically a mutual arrangement and mutual agreement of minerals in the rock unit. Their shape, size and growth are the responsible factors for the development of a certain texture. So, rocks show varied textures and structures and vary from microscopic scale to very large scale. Rocks contain platy and elongated minerals. Platy minerals, for example, micas and amphiboles, mostly they show preferred orientation. In case of structures formed by unbalanced directive forces and made structurally or mineralogically, depend on kinematic and thermodynamic changes in protolith. What is the importance? Crustal dynamics and evolution can be very well understood with the help of textures and structures. What are the factors affecting metamorphic structures? They are as follows. Factors that control metamorphic mineral content, textures and structures are: number 1 or first, protolith composition; number 2, temperature during metamorphism; number 3, pressure during metamorphism; number 4, tectonic forces; number 5, chemical fluids; number 6, time. Formation of metamorphic structures. Most common processes are recrystallization, phase change, metamorphic reaction, pressure solution. Grains become shorter in one and elongated in another direction. Number 5, plastic deformation. Structures in metamorphic rocks. First, foliation, which is layering planar preferred orientation of aligned alternate platy felsic and mafic minerals, that forms foliation. Whereas number 2, lineation, the sets of almost parallel lines from linear fabric. Here I am showing you slaty cleavage, granulation cleavage, fracture cleavage, termed as foliation in this diagram. In this diagram you see sketches for involved process and types of morphology developed in foliation and lineation. In this case, you find there are two arrows, they represent the pressure, and the pressure is acting in opposite direction. You may find a different type of texture, whereas on my right hand side the pressure is taking place in opposite direction, in all apart direction, and you may find a development of texture that is very clearly shown here in this diagram. And number 1, I will take up foliation and lineation. The classification based on morphology, Twist and Moore 2007 classified as spaced foliations, 10 or greater than 10 millimicron spacing is there, compositional, disjunctive and crenulation cleavage foliations, whereas fine less than 10 millimicron foliation lineation, they are closely spaced and coarse continuous foliation. Morphological classification of foliation is shown in this table. In this case, you may find these two types of foliations, spaced and continuous foliations, compositional, disjunctive, crenulation, fine and coarse. All these types, the first three compositional, disjunctive and crenulation, they belong to spaced type of foliation and cleavage, whereas fine and coarse, they belong to continuous type of foliation and cleavage. See on the right hand side, morphological classification scheme for lineation. You may find there are two basic types of lineations, structural and mineral lineation. Structural lineation is further classified into discrete and constructed, whereas mineral lineation is classified into two subcategories, polycrystalline and mineral grain. The compositional foliation marked by layers or laminae of different minerals. Disjunctive foliation, they are thin cleavage marked by oxides and aligned platy minerals. Crenulation foliation, formed by axial planes of microfolds, develop on pre-existing foliation. Slate and schist have fine and coarse continuous foliation respectively. Some of the most common rock, for example, phyllites, schist and gneisses. Types of foliations. I have told you about types of lineation, and now there are types of foliation. A. Compositional layering. B. Preferred orientation of platy minerals. C. Shape of deformed grains. D. Grain size variation. E. Preferred orientation of platy minerals in a matrix without preferred orientation. F. Preferred orientation of lenticular mineral aggregates. G. Preferred orientation of fractures. H. Combination of the above. All these types of foliations have been shown in the figure on my right hand side with and denoted by A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Now, proposed mechanism for the development of foliation. A, which is also shown in the figure on my left hand side, before deformation and after deformation. A, mechanical rotation. B shows preferred growth normal to compression. C shows grains with advantageous orientation grow, whereas those with poor orientation do not or dissolve. D, mineral changes shape by ductile deformation. E, pressure solution. F, combination of A and E. G, constrained growth between platy minerals. H, mimetic growth following an existing foliation. Beginning with randomly oriented planar or linear grains have been shown here with equidimensional crystals. Beginning with pre-existing foliation, shaded figures represents an initial shape and the resulting strain ellipsoids. on my left hand side. A is original fabric, B is also shown here, and C is also shown here. That after the shearing, development of foliation by simple shear and pure shear, the flattening of the grains is shown on my right hand side. Types of lineations. A. Preferred orientation of elongated mineral aggregates is shown in A diagram, whereas B diagram shows preferred orientation of elongated mineral, that is B type preferred orientation of elongated minerals. C. Lineation defined by platy minerals is shown in figure C. D. Fold axis, especially crenulation type, is shown in figure D. E. Intersecting planar elements is shown in figure E. Types of fabric elements that define a lineation from, it is taken from Turner and Wees Structural Analysis of Metamorphic Tectonics. Structural lineation shows selective orientation of linear structures and formed from planar structures. For example, intersection of two foliations give rise to crenulation hinge lines, Boudin lines, Slickens lines, and Mullins. It is a discrete or orientation of discrete subjects, for example, oids, pebbles, and fossils, and constructed types. Mineral lineation formed by parallel arrangement or parallel alignment of minerals, for example, amphibole and sillimanite. In crenulation cleavage is shown in A and B, mineral lineation is shown in B diagram here in this video. Number 2, slaty cleavage. Strong parallel foliation of fine platy clays and micas impart strong cleavage, for example, slate and phyllite. Chlorite mafic protolith, low grade metamorphism develops cleavage, but die out in high grade. Compression causes clay flakes to align right angles to compression direction. Foliation is a plane of weakness. In this diagram, I am showing slaty cleavage growth in a sedimentary protolith, shows alignment of platy minerals, which is shown with black color in yellow background. Here is the diagram. It shows the symmetrical crenulation cleavage in amphibole quartz rich schist. Another diagram where asymmetrical crenulation cleavage in mica quartz rich schist is shown here. Next is number 3 is cystose structure. Cystose structure is a foliated structure formed by mineral growth. Foliation plane, that is a planar structure with medium to coarse grained mineral alliance, whereas cystosity is mica longer axis oriented at right angles to stress direction. Mica schist, kyanite, sillimanite, sterolite part of foliation plane. See here, there are two diagrams. The left hand side diagram, which shows the polished section, shows cystose structure. In this case, you may find cystose like structure, that is cystose structure very clearly shown, and cystosity and stress direction and minerals aligned perpendicular to later forming foliation plane is shown in the sketch here. The black color line shows cystosity in the white background, and you have a quartz feldspar and you have a preferred orientation of silicate rocks, sheet silicates. Now, I would like to show you a morphological classification of cleavage and cystosity. The continuous foliation, spaced foliation, and continuous to be recognized in the microliths. You have a fine grained continuous cleavage or slaty cleavage. If grains are visible to the unaided eyes, then we call it as continuous cystosity, which is shown here, and spaced foliation if grains space cleavage, if coarse grained spaced cystosity, microliths, which is shown here, cleavage domains by here. On the other hand, can granulations be recognized in the microliths? Disjunctive foliation cleavage, granulation cleavage, and volume percentage of cleavage domains, continuous, zonal and spaced. Morphological classification of foliations, atlas of deformational and metamorphic rocks fabric, and this can be shown here in this diagram. Number 4, gneiss structure. Alternate light, that is felsic, medium to coarse grained quartz, and dark colored mafic, for example feldspar, pyroxene, hornblende, irregular bands, which gives like a stripped like structure with granulose texture. Bands formed by segregation. Rock is known as gneiss. Partial melting starts magmatization. Light felsic minerals forms melts, whereas darker mafic minerals remains unmelted. Here is the diagram or photograph which shows gneissic anorthositic amphibolite in this field photograph. Next is hand specimen, shows bands in gneisses. This is on my left hand top diagram. Then you have a stress led to formation of irregular bands. It's a hand sketch drawn here. The gneissic band shown with black color in a white background, and you have a quartz and feldspar, and you have a black colored, dark colored minerals in this diagram. Again, I am showing increasing intensity of metamorphism. The type of structures they produce, that depends upon the degree of metamorphism. So, first the low grade you form intermediate grade and high grade rocks. You get increasing crystal size, increasing coarseness of foliation. It is also shown with the picture also. Regional metamorphism changes rock texture. First, shale, in this shale the diagenesis, the slate is formed. The low grade metamorphism, where slaty cleavage is developed, the rock phyllite is formed. The intermediate grade, where cystosity is formed. The banding is formed, gneissic type of bands are there, and high grade metamorphism, where lot of bands are there. The foliated rocks classified by grade, grain size, type of foliation and banding. With the rise in intensity of metamorphism, the crystal size and foliation closeness increases. Number 5th, cataclastic structure forms tectonically. Stress is vital force, but lacks high temperature. The most predominant is the stress. Mineral shattered due to shearing, forms against pressure along fault zone, shearing of soft minerals forming powder, while resistant minerals shattered and form breccias. Owing to sliding minerals get powdered minus crystals, that resultant texture is porphyroclastic texture. High shearing causes high temperature rise and forms mylonite. In this diagram, I am showing a sketch shows process of cataclastic metamorphism. A, granular flow rock fabric, pre-deformation, post-deformation, whole rock shows cataclastic structure. Whereas on my right hand side, microstructure of mylonite texture is shown in this diagram. Number 6, pseudotachylite. Prefix pseudo means akin to dark color. Fine grained basalt glass or tachylite derived from glass devitrification. Rapid faulting or impact causes tectonical melting that occurs as veins or breccia. Tectonic breccia. This breccia is basically tectonic breccia. The significance is paleoseismic study. They are the paleoseismic indicators or earthquake indicators. In this diagram, it shows pseudotechelite vein in this diagram. Vein like pseudotechelite developed in gneisses. Then viewers, let us summarize what we have studied in the previous slides. Let us summarize what I have discussed in this video. Texture is used to describe the size, shape and arrangement of grains within a rock. Texture denotes the basic fabric of the rock made by constituting minerals. Structure in metamorphic rocks are product of unbalanced directive forces, and various interrelated textures are present in the rock unit. Structures are geometric elements made over the textures. Factors that control texture or structure: number 1, parent rock; number 2, temperature; number 3, pressure; number 4, tectonics; number 5, fluids; and number 6, time or duration. Process: recrystallization, phase change reaction, process solution deformation or pressure solution deformation, foliation in a planar feature, whereas lineation is a linear feature. The development of planar and linear features takes place in a plane perpendicular to maximum principal stress applied on partially arranged flaky minerals such as mica and chlorite. The slaty cleavage develops when compression causes clay flakes to reorient and regrow into an orientation perpendicular to the direction of compression. Schistosity is the layering developed due to the parallel arrangement of micaceous minerals or platy minerals developed as the result of metamorphism in low to medium grained coarse grained metamorphic rocks. Gneiss structure shows discontinuous banding of light colored medium to coarse grained minerals. The cataclastic structure is a tectonically developed structure. Dark colored very fine grained rock developed due to devitrification of glass and occurring as veins within the sheared country rocks are called pseudotechelite. Thank you, viewers.